This tells how God miraculously provided for the people of Israel, the Hebrews, by giving them an unlimited amount of tiny bread-like wafers. The Hebrews called this manna, which means, what is it? Or literally, what's it?
Now down in old Egypt, where Pharaoh was king, a fellow named Mo did a wonderful thing. There were Hebrews and Shebrews all over the place, and that put a frown on old Pharaoh's face.
So he did some upsetting to stop all their smiles, but they just kept begetting. They stretched out for miles, then Mo said, "Hey Pharaoh, you're mean, you're rotten. What God's gonna do, well, it won't be forgotten."
Sure enough, God got angry and took them away. Then Pharaoh got mad too and yelled, "Oglehe," which was Egyptian for, "I'm gonna hurt you so bad, you'll wish you were the one child your mom never had."
Because that's the way the Egyptians and most people get. When they don't get their way, they don't like it a bit.
Now Ro was so mad that he followed them all. Little ones, big ones, short types, and tall. Then he backed them all up to the sea that was red and said, "Now you're gonna wish that you were really dead."
But Mo took his stick and raising it high, said, "God, now would be a great time to drop by." And God, who was there all along anyway, picked up that old sea and just threw it away.
Then Pharaoh said, "Go soldiers, go on and get him." And the soldiers they tried, but the sea up and ate him.
Then the Hebrews and Shebrews of Israel said God was the best God they ever did see. They partied and stayed up till way, way past 8, celebrating their save from Pharaoh's fate.
But before very long, they got thirsty and cranky and started to crumble, especially one guy named Spanky. Then the people got hungry. In fact, they were starved. They were dreaming of roasted quail perfectly carved and freshly baked bread right off of the shelf and hoping Jehovah would bake it himself.
Sure enough, when the night came, a Hebrew named Ralph was struck in the mouth by a quail flying south. Then one after one, they came flying in. Soon quails were in stew pots and frying in tins.
And the next morning, out at the edge of the town, a Hebrew named Wharton was hanging around when he spotted a goldenish pinkish white disc and decided to eat it despite the slight risk.
It was a sweet little edible plate, and he ran into camp shouting, "Hey, this is great! I've discovered the wonderfulest food in existence. It'll feed us forever and be our subsistence."
Now, despite the big words that Wharton had used, he was instantly, nastily, verbally abused. "You're a fool," they all shouted. "That one little speck can't feed all these folks. What the heck? What the heck?"
But Mo said, "Hey, wait, folks. He's right. Look around. There are zillions of what's-this all over the ground."
Then the people said, "Huh? What you know?" And he's right. They must have arrived while we slept in the night.
There were whatsits in every cranny and nook, for those who were willing to just take a look. There were whatsits in every place they could think, on their heads, in their beds, in their porcelain sinks.
So the Hebrews and Shebrews said, "Oh, how he loves us, to shower such blessings upon and above us. And now we have no doubts. No, it's not like it was, for we finally have faith in the things that God does."
But the Watsons went bad every time there were more than the people could finish the evening before. Next morning, that delicate flavor went south and turned monstrously muckish inside of their mouths. They were no longer goldish, pinkish, and white, but a sick shade of green that put grown men to flight.
They said, "God, sir, we don't like to rail, but we really don't like your green whatsits and quail. We said that we'd trust all the things that you do, but we must tell you this time, you failed to come through."
Because that's the way Hebrews and all people think. When they can't have it their way, they just think it stinks.
But Wharton stepped forward and calm as could be said, "Wait, I think maybe we failed to see that the thing we should really have placed our faith in isn't not what God does, but simply in Him."
Then the people said, Wharton, now hey, what the heck? You're the guy who discovered that first little speck. And now you say what matters most from the start isn't found on the ground, but is found in our hearts?
Then Mo hollered, bingo, you figured it out. Now the real test will come when you conquer your doubts and trust when you can't see what's happening next. Just because, well, it's God, and He always knows what's best.
Because you'll never find anything good on the shelf till you learn to look past it, the Father himself.
After 40 more years, Wharton Caleb Odell finally came to the kingdom of Israel, and he said when he crossed with the throng on that day that the best part was trusting in God all the way. The end.